Indus Valley Civilization. The history of India begins with the birth of the Indus Valley Civilization, also known as Harappan Civilization. It flourished around 2500 BC in the western part of South Asia in contemporary Pakistan and western India. The Indus Valley was home to the largest of the four ancient urban civilizations of Egypt, Mesopotamia, India, and China. In 1920s, the Archaeological Department of India carried out excavations in the Indus Valley wherein the ruins of the two old cities, Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, were unearthed. In 1924, John Marshall, Director General of the ASI, announced the discovery of a new civilization in the Indus Valley to the world. Important sites of Indus Valley civilization. Harappa site was excavated by Dayaram Sahini in 1921, which is situated on the bank of River Ravi in Montgomery district of Punjab, which is in Pakistan. Sandstone statues of human anatomy, granaries, bullock carts are the most important findings. Another important site is Mohenjo-daro, which is also called as Mount of Dead, which is excavated by R.D. Banerjee in 1922, which is situated on the bank of river Indus in Larkana district of Punjab, which is in Pakistan. Great Bath, Granary, Bronze Dancing Girl, Seal of Pasupati Mahadeva, a piece of woven cotton, and a statue of a bird man were the important findings of this place. Another important sites of Indus Valley civilization is Sutka Jendor, which was excavated by Stein in 1929 and which is located in southwestern Balochistan province, Pakistan on Dast River. Another one is Chan Hudaro, which is excavated by N.J. Majumdar in 1931, which is located at Sindh on the river Indus. The important findings at this place were bed maker's shop, footprint of a dog chasing a cat, Amri, which was excavated by N.G. Majumdar in 1935 on the banks of Indus River. Important findings were antelope evidence, Kalibangan, which is excavated by Ghosh in 1953, which is located at Rajasthan on the bank of Gajjar River. Important findings were fire altar, camel bones, and wooden plough. Lothal, which is excavated by R. Rao in 1953, which is located at Gujarat on Bogwa River near Gulf of Cambay. Important findings were first man-made port, dockyard, rice husk, fire altars, chess playing are the important findings. Surkotada, which was excavated by J.P. Joshi in 1964, which is located in Gujarat. The important findings were bones of horses and beads. Banavali, which was excavated by R.S. Bisht in 1974, which is located at Hisar district of Haryana. Important findings were beads, Bali, evidence of both pre-Harappan and Harappan culture. Dholavira, which was excavated by R.S. Bisht in 1985, which is located in Gujarat in Rann of Kutch. Important findings were water harnessing system, water reservoir. The different phases of Indus Valley civilizations are categorized into three phases. The first one is the early Harappan phase from 3300 to 2600 BC. Second phase was the mature Harappan phase from 2600 to 1900 BCE. The third phase is the late Harappan phase from 1900 to 1300 BCE. The early Harappan phase is related to Hakra phase identified in the Gajjar-Hakra river valley. The earliest examples of the Indus script date back to 3000 BC. This phase stands characterized by centralized authority and an increasingly urban quality of life. The earliest examples of the Indus script date back to 3000 BC. This phase stands characterized by centralized authority and an increasingly urban quality of life. Trade networks had been established, and there are also evidences of the cultivation of crops. Peas, sesame seeds, dates, cotton, etc. were grown during that time. Cot DG represents the phase leading up to mature Harappan phase. By 2600 BC, the Indus Valley civilization had entered into a matured stage. The early Harappan communities were turning into large urban centers like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro in Pakistan and Lothal in India. The signs of a gradual decline of the Indus River Valley civilization are believed to have started about 1800 BC, and by 1700 BC, most of the cities were abandoned. However, one can see the various elements of the Indus Valley civilization in later cultures. Archaeological data indicates the persistence of the late Harappan culture till 1000 to 900 BC. Town planning and structures. The Harappan culture was distinguished by its system of town planning. Harappa and Mohenjo-daro each had its own citadel or acropolis, which was possibly occupied by members of the ruling class. Below the citadel, in each city, lay a lower town containing brick houses which were inhabited by the common people. The remarkable thing about the arrangement of the houses in the cities is that they followed the grid system. Granaries constituted an important part of the Harappan cities. The use of burnt bricks in the Harappan cities is remarkable because in the contemporary buildings of Egypt, mainly dried bricks were used. The drainage system of Mohenjo-daro was very impressive. In almost all cities, every big and small house had its own courtyard and bathroom. In Kalibangan, many houses had their wells. At sites such as Dhaulavira and Lothal, which is in Gujarat, the entire settlement was fortified and sections within the town were also separated by walls. Agriculture. The Harappan villages, mostly situated near the food plains, produced sufficient food grains. Wheat, barley, peas, sesame, lentil, chickpea, and mustard were produced. Millets are also found from sites in Gujarat, while rice uses were relatively rare. The Indus people were the earliest people to produce cotton, while the prevalence of agriculture is indicated by finds of grains. It is more difficult to reconstruct actual agricultural practices. Representations on seals and terracotta sculpture indicates that the bull was known, and archaeologists extrapolate shows oxen were also used for ploughing. Most Harappan sites are located in semi-arid lands where irrigation was possibly required for agriculture. Traces of canals have been found at the Harappan site of Shottogai in Afghanistan but not in Punjab or Sindh. Although the Harappans practiced agriculture, animals were also reared on a large scale. Evidence of the horse comes from a superficial level of Mohenjo-daro and from a doubtful terracotta figurine from Lothal. In any case, the Harappan culture was not horse-centered. Economy. The importance of trade in the life of the Indus people it is witnessed by presence of numerous seals, uniform script and regulated weights and measures in a wide area. The Harappans carried on considerable trade in stone, metal, shell, etc. Metal money was not used and trade was carried by barter system. They practiced navigation on the coast of the Arabian Sea. They had set up a trading colony in northern Afghanistan, which evidently facilitated trade with Central Asia. They also carried commerce with those in the land of the Tigris and the Euphrates. The Harappans carried on long distance trade in lapis lazuli, which may have contributed to the social prestige of the ruling class. Crafts. The Harappans were very well acquainted with the manufacturing and use of bronze. Copper was obtained from the K3 copper mines of Rajasthan, and tin was possibly brought from Afghanistan. Textile impressions have also been found on several objects. Huge brick structure suggests that bricklaying was an important craft. This also attests the existence of a class of masons. The Harappans practiced boat making, bead making, and seal making. Terracotta manufacture was also an important craft. The goldsmiths made jewelry of silver, gold, and precious stones. The potter's wheel was in full use, and the Harappans produced their own characteristic pottery, which was glossy and shining. Institutions. A very few written materials have been discovered in the Indus Valley, and the scholars have been able to decipher the Indus script so far. As a result, there is difficulty in understanding the nature of the state and institutions of the Indus Valley civilization. No temples have been found at Harappan sites, therefore, the possibility of priests ruling Harappa can be eliminated. Harappa was possibly ruled by a class of merchants. If we look for a center of power or for depictions of people in power, archaeological records provide no immediate answers. Some archaeologists are of the opinion that Harappan society had no rulers and that everybody enjoyed equal status. Another theory argues that there was no single ruler but a number of rulers representing each of the urban centers. Religion. In Harappa, numerous terracotta figurines of women have been found. In one figurine, a plant is shown growing out of an embryo of a woman. The Harappans therefore looked upon the earth as a fertility goddess and worshipped her in the same manner as the Egyptians worshipped the Nile goddess. The male deity is represented on a seal with three horned heads, represented in the sitting posture of a yogi. This god is surrounded by an elephant, a tiger, a rhinoceros, and had a buffalo below his throne. At his feet appear two deer. The depicted god is identified as Pasupati Mahadeva. Numerous symbols of the phallus and female sex organs made of stone have been found. The people of the Indus region also worship trees and animals. The most important of them is the one horned unicorn, which may be identified with the rhinoceros. The next important was the humped bull. Amulets have also been found in large numbers. The decline of the Indus Valley civilization. This civilization declined around 1800 BC, but the actual reasons behind its demise are still debated. One theory claimed that Indo-European tribe, that is, Aryans invaded and conquered the Indus Valley civilization. In later cultures, various elements of the Indus Valley civilization are found which suggest that civilization did not disappear suddenly due to an invasion. On the other hand, many scholars believe natural factors are behind the decline of the Indus Valley civilization. The natural factors could be geological and climatic. It is believed that the Indus Valley region experienced several tectonic disturbances which causes earthquakes, which also changed courses of rivers and dried them up. Another natural reason might be changes in patterns of rainfall. There could be also dramatic shifts in the river courses, which might have brought floods to the flood food producing areas. Due to combination of these natural causes, there was a slow but inevitable collapse of Indus Valley civilization.